Hi everyone, myself Satvik, roll number 20951 A05G4 CSCB. The topic which I got for Tech Talk for the subject network and web security is a risk management approach to double virus trade-off problem. Abstract. One of the major threats to cybersecurity is the emergence of new computer viruses. By emergence of new viruses, the cybersecurity companies assign a team of security experts and programmers to study the behavior of the virus and develop corresponding antivirus program to secure networks. Sometimes more than one new virus is identified that requires the cybersecurity team to make a trade-off on the allocation of programmers and thus leads to two antivirus program development problem under double virus attack. In this PPT, we propose downhill algorithm to address the outlined challenge. We model the time evolution of the expected state of the network as a different dynamical system to measure the total loss caused by the viruses. Then we propose a downhill algorithm, three heuristic algorithms, and a random algorithm to solve the problem, respectively. We study the computational complexities of the proposed algorithm as well through numerous comparative experiments. We confirm the downhill algorithm is the most effective method to this problem. Finally, the influence of different factors on the downhill strategy and its potential total loss are also studied. Introduction. In recent years, computer network grows rapidly in a way that not only computers but also everything around us are getting connected. That provides sophisticated personalized services to the end user. Example, smart farming or smart energy management. Due to ever increasing connectivity of computers and networks, if a computer or group of computers in a network malfunction, information cascades rapidly encompass other entities in the network, which impacts the functionality of the network. One of the most common threats to computer networks is computer virus, which can spread itself among computers in a network by exploring hardware or software vulnerabilities. Example, operating systems or misconfiguration of devices. The impact of computer viruses inflict huge economic loss. Cybersecurity companies identify new viruses by analyzing the log files, operation records, and reports collected from the end users. Once a new virus is detected, the company abstracts its feature codes, store them into a database, and allocate programmers to develop the corresponding antivirus program to protect user devices from being compromised. The company first estimates the amount of required effort, which is the first requirement to design new programs according to software engineering fundamentals, and is usually measured as man months or many days, man days. We employ man days in this paper considering the fundamental features of antivirus programs such as urgency and timeless. Next, the number of programmers to be assigned to the code the antivirus are determined. The double virus trade-off problem is a critical challenge faced by organizations today. The problem arises when companies have to balance the need for cybersecurity with the need for accessibility and usability of their systems. In this paper, we propose a risk management approach to tackle this problem. Our approach involves identifying the risks associated with both viruses and creating a risk management plan that addresses these risks. By doing so, we can mitigate the impact of viruses on our systems while still ensuring that they remain accessible and usable. Understanding the double virus trade-off problem. The double virus trade-off problem occurs when organizations face competing priorities between cybersecurity and accessibility. On the one hand, organizations need to protect their systems from malware and other cyber threats. On the other hand, they also need to ensure that their systems remain accessible and usable for their users. This problem is particularly challenging because it requires striking a delicate balance between security and functionality. If organizations focus too much on security, they may end up creating systems that are difficult to use and access. Conversely, if they prioritize accessibility and usability over security, they may leave themselves vulnerable to cyber attacks. Identifying the risks associated with viruses. To develop an effective risk management plan for the double virus period of problem, it is essential to identify the risks associated with viruses. This include understanding the different types of viruses that exist and how they can impact organizational systems. Some of the most common types of viruses include Trojan horses, worms, and ransomware. These viruses can cause significant damage to organizational systems, including data loss, system crashes, and financial losses. By identifying these risks, organizations can develop strategies to mitigate their impact and prevent them from causing significant harm. Developing a risk management plan. Once the risks associated with viruses have been identified, the next step is to develop a risk management plan. This plan should outline the steps that organization will take to mitigate the impact of viruses on their systems. Some of the key elements of a risk management plan include implementing firewalls and antivirus softwares, conducting regular system backups, and educating employees about the risks associated with viruses. By taking these steps, organizations can reduce the vulnerability to viruses and minimize the impact of any potential infections. Testing and evaluating the risk management plan. Once a risk management plan has been developed, it is essential to test and evaluate its effectiveness. This involves conducting regular system audits and penetration testing to identify any vulnerabilities that may exist. By testing and evaluating the risk management plan, organizations can ensure that it remains effective and up to date. This is particularly important given the constantly evolving nature of cyber threats and the need for organizations to stay ahead of emerging risks. Conclusion. The double virus trade-off problem is a significant challenge faced by organizations today. However, by adopting a risk management approach, it is possible to strike a balance between security and accessibility. This involves identifying the risks associated with viruses, developing a risk management plan, and regularly testing and evaluating its effectiveness. Ultimately, by taking these steps, organizations can minimize the impact of viruses on their systems and ensure that they remain secured and accessible for their users. With this, I have come to the end of the topic. I hope that you have gained some knowledge. Thank you.